Welcome back, everybody. We're going to dive into our first adventure right now. But as always, before we do that, we are going to get to know all of the adventurers that we have today. This is, once again, it's happening again so soon. I think it was only maybe 3 weeks ago that we had the fabled 5 adventurer game, or I guess the storied 5 adventurer game because of the tier. And once again tonight, we will be running out with a crew of 5. So let's without further ado, let's just start moving down the line. So first off, we have a brand new character and a brand new player here on DnDTime. I'd like to say welcome to Lotho Goldworthy. Welcome, Lotho.
Hello.
So Lotho, would you like to tell us a little bit about your character? You know, things like what your skill set is and why it is that you chose to take up the life of an adventurer.
Yes, Lotho is a halfling monk. He was a sailor back in the day. Liked to hang out around the docks and climb on the ships, and ended up catching the eye of a captain and made himself useful, getting into tight spots on the ship and fixing it. And so he traveled doing that for a little bit. And they were attacked by pirates, and he washed ashore and was found by some monks. And he started to do monkery after that. So.
Whoa. Started to learn and train as a member of this kind of monk community. It's a pretty big shift, I imagine. The sort of the freedom of the seafaring life to that of more of a disciplined monastery. Was it tough for Lotho to kind of get used to all that?
I think it was, but he felt like he owed a debt to the monks who saved his life and took him in, and so he started to learn. They actually are a group of monks that brew a special kind of ale that you can only find there, and it is very popular among the sailors, and so he learned how to do that. And now he is off. They sent him off on a journey to try to secure more patrons of this ale and shipping routes and stuff like that to send it off to people. And he figured, why not adventure a little bit to pay his way while he's at it. So
excellent. And there's certainly money to be had as an adventurer among Bartholomew's shops. So welcome, Lotho. It's good to have you tonight. And by the way, Lotho, do you also have a small child that walks around with you?
I do. My wife got called into work, and so I am kind of wrangling him for the next few minutes.
So Lotho Goldworthy also sort of a bring your daughter to work day for Lotho.
You know, he was a sailor for a while.
Cast on. He was enchanted with a baby human child.
Indeed. Lotho, it's a pleasure to have you. Looking forward to hopping in this adventure with you. So,
glad to be here.
Next up, we have, and if I pronounce it wrong, I apologize, but another brand new character and brand new player. We have Astraea. Did I say it right?
Yes, you said it right.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit about Astraea.
So Astraea has lived a life of seclusion.
Mm-hmm.
She never really liked people in general, and so she's decided to sequester herself amongst communal living of a religious order.
And what is the nature of the religious order that you have sequestered yourself within?
They delve into research on the secrets of the world and enlightenment. So it's almost like a monk kind of thing, but it's more like a cult than it is a proper monastery.
And does Astraea sort of buy into the belief systems of this, or is Astraea there because she is the pronoun she?
Yes, she is a woman. Well,
yes.
A teenager, really. She's still very young and impressionable, so she definitely buys into the mumbo-jumbo. In fact, she has discovered a very scary secret about the world that, if it ever becomes public, will probably bring disaster and ruin. It's a very good thing she's also good at keeping secrets.
certainly is. And what was it about Bartholomew's kind of adventuring lifestyle that kind of called to Astraea? What made you want to join up with this particular group of merry band of characters?
Two things really. One, she living the life of a hermit is basically not very luxurious, and so she wants a job to get some more lavish goodies. And the other thing is,
you got to put food on the table.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the other thing is she is definitely motivated by the secret she knows. And she wants to, I guess, do more with her life now that she has this information.
Excellent. Well, Astraea, it's good to have you, and welcome tonight.
Thank you.
As we're moving on down the line, we have another completely brand new character, although you are a veteran player, Max. But we have returning, and again, tell me if I pronounce your name wrong, Zrark Drex. Did I say that correct?
It's Captain Drex to you, buddy.
I mean, Captain Drex, I apologize for missing out on your title, but did I say Zrark correctly?
Did. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
If I remember it correctly, I'm the first. I believe I'm the first goblin to even bother signing up here.
Well, I think Bartholomew actually had kind of a ban on goblins for a while, but Roger just yelled at him and told him that he couldn't just single out any race at any time. So, the monstrous races, specifically from Volos. So, Captain Drex, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, especially as the first goblin here among DnDTime. Tell us about who you are and what you bring to the table as an adventurer.
Well, I have quite the story to tell you. A long time ago, I was just a wee little goblin, but I was being forced to work under this blasted orc. I don't even know his name anymore, but he was a really dumb ship captain who just abused me. So I killed him. I killed him, and I have a ship now.
I mean,
so I'm the captain of my own crew, and I'm enjoying life on the seas. But frankly, I'm starting to get bored. Also, Lotho, that may have been me that blew up your ship. Sorry about that. But that's not the point. The point is that I signed up here because I'm trying to seek other adventures. Adventures that are more landlocked, I should say.
Yes.
Especially when all the booty and treasure is hidden deep within the land.
I think a lot of it is hidden deep within Bartholomew's shop, specifically in that bag.
That too, but still.
Oh yes. The land will be calling to you tonight, as you will be completely landlocked tonight, Captain Drex. So this will be a great opportunity to explore some of that. Captain, it is great to have you here. I apologize for missing out on your title before, but it shan't happen again. And coming up next, we have Elysia Silverblood, another of the Silverblood line. Elysia, welcome. It's good to have you tonight.
Hello, yes, thank you for having me, Pete. I've heard a good deal about you.
Oh, well, thank you. It's rare that anyone, addresses me by name. It's just sometimes it just feels like they think I'm just a voice and not, a person with feelings. So I appreciate you using my name there, Elysia. And again, judging by your last name, it's safe, I think, to assume that you are related to the one and only Silver Hierophant, the Lance Silverblood.
Indeed, I've heard that father has become quite renowned here, traveling with Bartholomew and his endeavors.
Indeed, your father. I did not know that Lance had a child.
Well, guardian might be a more proper term. It's a bit of a roundabout story, but I've come under his protection, and he's sent me here to Bartholomew for, well, a certain quest I'm working on.
Well, it's certainly the right place to go. I have to say, welcome to the group, Elysia. And what skills do you offer? Are you a follow in the footsteps of your father? Are you a cleric like Lance?
In a sense, I've had some talent for that. I also can call upon certain other magics. They tend to come out a little bit more chaotically than my father's magic, but I'm still working on them for now.
And do you also believe in Selune as Lance does?
Indeed, of course.
Well,
she is one of the greatest deities here, of course.
Well, Elysia, welcome. It is good to have you tonight.
Thank you for having me, DM Pete.
Of course. And last but not least, we have the fifth adventurer. We have Baron Luten Plundaar. Baron, welcome back. The only veteran of Bartholomew's shop here tonight, or at least only veteran character.
Absolutely. It has been far too long, Pete. Now, about those trade contracts that we discussed last week.
Oh, yes. I believe you had negotiated some excellent trade deals for some of the things that were being vended over at the Academy of Blight. I'm sure that. How have those been going? Have you reached any? Have you started to make any profit off of any of this?
Absolutely. Though I have quite a few skin roll-ups I need to offload onto the masses. That Crixus fellow is quite a character, I might say. But he assured me that they were quite delicious, and they were a fan favorite, he assured me.
I mean, they certainly are a fan favorite. And no, Baron Luten Plundaar. There's something that I wished. Oh yes, now Baron Luten, you were a tiefling, if I remember correctly. Yes,
Absolutely.
I can tell by those very realistic.
Start stroking my horns.
Yeah, those are extremely realistic looking, and I don't even know why the word "realistic" popped into my head because they are.
I have no idea what
horns.
you are referring to, friend. These, of course, are my correct horns. I was born with them.
Why would I don't know? I just got confused for a second. It's weird of me to even bring it up. Anyway, I'm sorry about that.
Absolutely.
Baron Luten Plundaar, welcome.
Yes, and may the green sun protect us all. And also, to a lesser extent, the cloud. And I hear there's quite the following of them.
And the many other myriad deity that make up the land of DnDTime. So, without further ado, allow us to begin kind of diving into tonight's adventure. You find yourselves requisitioned by Bartholomew to travel to the central city dump. I think, well, naturally, none of you have been here before as we're level 1 adventurers, but you are probably a little bit familiar with it, Baron Luten, as it's a place that is to a degree associated with the Green Sun cult, which you do follow the doctrines of. Because you see all of the trash in the largest metropolis of Central City, there are a group of cultists, known as the Green Sun cult, that manage waste collection there, and they just kind of take it and teleport it away. They don't burn it, they don't sort it and recycle it, they just teleport it away into one big pile. And over the years, the dump has become an absolutely massive, just kind of brown spot on the landscape of DnDTime. And the larger it has grown, the more people have begun to take up residence within it, as it's become a bit of its own sovereign nation. Your adventure today...
Who the heck would want to live in a trash dump like that?
Don't you dare make a mockery of the contracts that we have been sequestered to.
Isn't this the kind of place you goblins often call home?
I think it's a bit too clean for their kind.
My hometown is a port city. Get lost.
Yes, perhaps you have a home along the Crimson Coast. Now, the thing about the specific individual that you've been requested to contact here has an issue. As I'd mentioned, civilization has started to really kind of crop up here within the dump, and there is a renowned figure who has become the sovereign of the dump by the name of Trash King. And apparently, one of his knights has betrayed him, and he needs you, a group of Bartholomew's adventurers, to deal with this particular individual. So that is why you've been called here. Where the scene begins, you find yourself now walking. It is, as always, the weather here is extremely hot, and the smell just from the kind of the rancor of the dump hits you long before you actually arrive. As you can see, kind of the sun as it's going down in the sky a bit, the light kind of cresting through the backdrop of the dump as it looms in the distance. You can see a large wrought. From the distance, it appears to be a wrought iron gate, but as you get closer, you can see that it's just a mishmash of scrap that has just been kind of hastily cobbled together to form something that resembles a gate, at least, as you approach now. You can see a small figure standing on top of a tower that is up on the right side of this gate that is looking out to the five of you as you begin kind of walking up and approaching. He's got a big... kind of a crown on his head that seems to be made of like spoons and bottle caps that have all been woven together, like a little kind of mantle that's from stitched together like old newspapers and such. And he's just kind of like looking out for you, but he's kind of looking in the distance, looking past where you obviously are. So, what would you all like to do?
Elysia will kind of pull her vestments up over her face and use prestidigitation to make them smell like incense.
Yeah, the smell is a welcome difference from just the stank that is the region that you're in.
You see me begin to take out an amulet, and what you see is a D20 with various deities carved all over it. The sun, conch, the green sun, Selune, Loth. And as I do, I also cast prestidigitation with the smell of flowers around my head. So that way I don't have to smell this god-awful nonsense.
Yes, you, following Elysia's lead, clear up the smell around your head. You see kind of your compatriots there, just kind of wallowing in it. Although at this point, you've been there long enough, just kind of walking to get to this point, that you're starting to get some sensory adaptation, and you notice it less and less as time passes. But yeah, this king is just kind of looking out. As you kind of walk closer and closer to the gate, he finally looks down and sees the group of you. He seems pretty shocked, like you snuck past him, which I don't think you guys were sneaking. But he just kind of shuts up. Whoa! Who would enter my kingdom of garbage?
Do you dare question a noble?
You dare question someone who seeks treasure?
I can't imagine anyone not hired by Bartholomew. Can we get this underway?
I see you see the pins that we wear. And who, perchance, would you be?
He kind of glares down. He pulls out kind of a piece of shattered glass that he kind of holds up in like a really terrible spyglass and looks down. Ah, the badges! I've learned about those now! And you just see him kind of topple forward off his tower in a bit of a swan dive, and he just ducks down into a big pile of just kind of garbage that's sitting over in front of one of the towers. And then you see him pop up in just a completely unrelated pile and jump out of it. And as he stands there, he kind of does a little bit of a flourish. And he's, I am the Trash King!
Oh,
This
yes.
is my kingdom!
I have heard of you.
Swan dived into garbage and not an Old Spice commercial.
I don't know of these old spices, but they sound like they would fit in nicely into my trash domain. I will take some if you have them for offering.
I think that
I was just joking around.
I think some toilet water would do you well. Perhaps it would improve the smell here.
I do not think the smell could be improved upon.
Well, needless to say, what have you called us here for this very day, Trash King?
Come, follow me! And you see him kind of, with a wave of his hand, the gate just kind of creaks and pulls aside, and he leads you into the Trash Kingdom proper. Tall mounds of junk and garbage make kind of valleys that he's leading you down. You see the roads kind of twist and turn. You can see they're heavily walked on paths. You walk through kind of an area that seems to be like, all compost and organic matter, where there's a lot of people like farming and building up communities even. But he guides you past that and towards what he in the distance, he says, "We travel now to the ruined ruins." And he points far away. You can see kind of a single tower along with a number of just kind of crumbled chunks of stone and just bits. Up above, you can see occasionally in the sky as new trash is teleported to the kingdom. Pieces of trash will just fall out of the sky and into the ruins. You just see, like, it looks like almost half of a house just all of a sudden just crashes down into the ruins in the distance. So you are adventurers. I've never seen you before. Usually Bartholomew sends me, well, more known ones.
Well, I've been on these adventures.
Well, if you've ever been to the coast, you've probably heard of me.
You probably know of one of my associates. I think he may have had dealings here. His name is Crixus.
The Light of the Dawn.
Absolutely.
Do your
Would you
skills strike
care?
his own?
Would you care to have some of these delicious skin roll-ups?
He looks at them for a while. Are they trash?
Well, some people say that they are. I will leave that to you. I will tell you what. I will let you try one. Free of charge. And I have.
And when you address me, you will address me as your highness. And he takes the skin roll up and...
Being of scent, of course, I do a flowery bow afterwards. Your highness, of course. Where are my manners?
As he bites down on the skin roll up. This is incredible!
Perhaps I could come to some sort of trade with you and your people.
I don't
Perhaps vending stalls, perhaps.
I don't have any trade routes. I've heard kings have those kind of things. Well, come quickly now. As I mentioned before, or I sent in my letter at least to Bartholomew, there's a bit of a mutiny.
Oh, well, we will not stand for this.
Oh, I've had my fair share of mutiny. Trust me. I killed my previous captain.
There, green one. Calm down. The adults are speaking.
But adults.
The Trash King looks down to the little one, and he looks back towards. He looked back towards you, Lotho. Actually, Lotho, what are you up to at this point? What have you been doing?
Mostly just watching, observing.
Okay.
Sipping on my citrus L to try to take the stank away from my nose.
Mm-hmm. And Lotho, I guess in my mind, Lotho Goldworthy, with a name like Goldworthy, I kind of imagined you being fairly. I imagined you being just fairly well dressed. I guess is that the case? Would you say that the dump aligns with your sensibilities, or do you find yourself in a degree of comfort here?
Well, as a halfling coming out of the garden area, growing up there, and then being on the open seas and the salt air, this is quite a change, and it's not quite enjoyable. But
Yeah.
I am enjoying my L. Would anybody like some of my citrus L? It's for sale.
Is it some sort of secret recipe?
It is a secret recipe, and I cannot tell you what's in it, but I can let you try it for a couple of silver.
Elysia will walk over. Well,
I think that I will try this. I'm always looking for a good trade opportunity. I'll give you a couple silver pieces.
Elysia will follow suit.
I'll tell you what, thanks to his generosity, I'll go ahead and give everybody a tankard if they would like.
All right, cool. Yeah, so you kind of pour out some of your citrus ale. You said it was, right?
Yes, and I'll pour some for the Trash King, I believe was his name.
Yes, he looks up to you. Now this does not appear to be trash.
Far from it, sir.
Well, I can change that. You see me pull the out with the hand. I turn it into green and purple swirling, and I just have the look of like it foaming, fetid, rotten, pustulous pieces, just nasty. And that way he will actually drink it. I just have it look vile as I possibly.
Trash King looks at the concoction that you've changed it into, contemplates it for a while, reaches down, picks up some dirt, and actually like sprinkles it into the cup, and then downs it in one. Yes, very good, very good. I liked the presentation, although it was a little bit better tasting than I expected. Not trash. Next time you present this to me, make it worse.
I can do that.
And what about Astraea? What's Astraea doing at this point?
At the moment, Astraea doesn't really want to open her mouth. She's got her hand clamped on it because of the smell. And she is currently watching the sky for the falling trash, just in case, one portal opens up above her head.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to get dumped.
Come close. You've been kind of dodging and walking out of the way. Like, nothing on the scale of that like chunk of house that you saw. Most of them are just things like, the stray can, but as something's falling down, you'll see occasionally you just kind of take a quick sidestep to the left and it falls harmlessly. As you're kind of talking, sampling the citrus ale, the Trash King's kind of explaining to you what's going on. So as I said, there has been a mutiny among my knights. You see, the junk knights are how I maintain order throughout my kingdom. As it has grown, it has become increasingly difficult to do. However, one of my junk knights, his name is Sir Coil, the Knight of Springs. He has betrayed me. He has taken over my keep whilst I sent all the rest of my knights out about the kingdom to maintain order. In this moment of weakness, he seized my very tower. And you've now arrived kind of at the ruined ruins, and he points in the distance. There's just a large broken tower. It looks like it was chunked off of someone else's castle, just like you saw that piece of building having fallen before. This tower seems to be like it may have been part of, maybe a pretty elaborate, probably a very nice castle at one time. But you can see the stone is crumbling and broken on the sides. Out of the windows hang various sort of banners that are made from like discarded pieces of cloth. There's a door. It's at a little bit of an angle. It's not resting quite right among the rest of the rubble of the surrounding region, so it's a little bit tilted. And the Trash King looks over you. The Knight of Springs holds up within. I need you to roust him out and defeat him, so I can reclaim my rightful place in my keep.
While I love what you've done with the place,
thank you.
Perhaps can you build another keep out of trash?
A king should not have to cede his keep because someone else has taken it. A king takes what's his.
What can you tell us of this Sir Coil, was it? What sort of arms, what are we to expect when we enter?
My junk knights craft their materials themselves from the bounty that is laid before them by me, their highness. The Knight of Sir Coil, the Knight of Springs, utilizes small pieces of wire that have been bound up, giving them an ability to bounce to a degree. They're sort of... Have you ever seen a spring? They're common in things like mattresses.
Blocks.
Yes, I do believe I've seen a spring before.
We sleep on stones at the monastery.
I sleep on stones sometimes. I have a stone bed next to my regular broken bed.
I sometimes have to sleep on the wood of my ship, but that's not a big deal for me.
I sleep on the most luxurious and comfortable pillows in all of the lands, as is fitting for one of my state. Perhaps one day you, Trash King, can get yourself some very comfortable, broken in and in your case, perhaps ripped pillows, and that would be to your liking.
Perhaps it would be. Throw them away and I'll take them.
Yes, I know of the arrangement that is been set forth.
And so he gestures to the tower. I believe that Sir Coil lies within the top of the tower there. He's staying in my very chamber.
This will not do. A king should reside in his own residence properly. Isn't that right, Your Highness?
Agreed.
What say you all? Shall we be off?
Let's give this guy his eviction notice already.
Yes, little green man. We will definitely do this.
I don't suppose the Trash King has a special way to enter and exit his chambers? Secret passage? Something? Escape route?
Oh, normally I'd just go through the trash. He took all the trash out of the building, though. And you see him do that same thing he did before when he went into one trash pile and left another. I keep it in my room, but he threw it out the window when he took over the room, so I couldn't go in. And he just does, I guess he does that same thing where he just jumps into a pile and then he's just on a different part of the dump, like maybe 15 feet away. He hops out of a completely different pile.
Well, that won't stand. And you see me produce a sack out of my backpack, and I will scoop some of the trash and throw it in the pack. This is for later, of course.
If you're going to take that here, well, if you complete the mission, I'll say that you can have that trash. You said you're just picking up some miscellaneous trash?
Yes, I plan on putting it in your room so that you can easily enter.
Oh, excellent. Great idea.
I guess the saying goes, one man's trash, another man's treasure.
I would have to
actually
agree with
invented that phrase. And are you all going to head on over to the tower, or do you have anything else you want to ask the Trash King?
Over to this tower, I'm giving this guy his eviction notice.
Excellent. All right, so you guys begin kind of trekking your way. The area, it's difficult to move in sort of this whole region. As I said, there's all just rubble from various construction materials, huge stones. Captain Drex, you see the remains of like an old boat that was dumped here that's just been split. Nothing in particularly useful, just
I don't care. If I could have that piece of wreckage, that would be so useful. I will build the ultimate vessel.
And perhaps after the adventure, you could grab some great building materials. Maybe it's got at least a nice masthead. You see a big kind of mermaid on the front of it. But you eventually, climbing over the rubble, make your way to the entrance to the tower. With inside, you can hear kind of a sound. It's sort of a coming from behind the door, which is closed. The door itself that leads to this tower, it's kind of a plain wood. It looks like it's rotting through a little bit, but it was also pretty thick to begin with, so it's fairly solid. The door handle itself is locked. What would you all like to do?
Open the door, because forget knocking. Why would I knock for this guy?
All right. Well, you go and turn the door handle, and it is locked.
Are there any windows around anywhere?
You can see various windows along the outside of the tower at different points, kind of leading up. There's not any at kind of the ground base floor. This was probably, you think, like maybe a guard tower on the outside of a wall of a building at some point. So it's not meant to necessarily be easily accessed. It's only got this one kind of door on the bottom. Unless you want to like try and scale the sides, which might be possible.
I will take my rod of lordly might and tap on it. The door.
All right. You tap on it with a rod. You still hear that same kind of from inside, and then all of a sudden you hear kind of a and that kind of sound kind of disappears. That sound kind of disappears inside the tower. And then a few moments later, out of a window at the top of the tower, you see a head poke out, and an armored figure. The head kind of pokes down, and he says, "Who goes there?"
We have been sent for your eviction. Isn't that right, little? As I look straight down.
Yeah, you're getting kicked out, buddy boy.
Why?
Then I look at Astraea, and is she still covering her mouth, trying not to gag?
Yes.
I will do the same that I did to myself, so it's easier.
I will not be leaving this place.
We will see that you have returned it to its rightful owner. As I do that, I'm gonna smack at the door handle and try to bust it off so that we.
All right, go ahead and make me an attack roll. All right, yeah. You whack it into the door. The rod kind of hits at a little bit of a funky angle and doesn't land too clean of a hit on it. And as you bang into it, I mean, you can see a few pieces of wood chip off. You can tell that you will eventually break into the door this way. And as you do so, the person that you've now no doubt intuited is Sir Coil looks down at you, and he just says, "I will not cede this tower to that fool king. He has no right to rule these lands. He claimed them simply by stating that they were his. That is no lawful rulership."
But aren't you doing the same thing?
I would agree with Astraea.
You were serving as his knight, and not only have you stolen this land, but you've betrayed him. Is that not a greater sin?
That is beside the point.
That is the point. It is the duty of all those under the law to uphold their oaths. If you swore fealty to the Trash King and were indeed his knight, you, sir, must uphold your end of the bargain. And you are not at this time. And I
kind of
whack at it the door.
All right, go ahead and make another attack roll. 13, yeah, roll damage on that. Is that 2, or is there also the 5 on that?
It's just it's just the 2.
Or it's probably it's the 5 because you're using 2 hands, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So with this hit, as you say that, the rod crashes through the door, leaving just kind of a big hole in it, with which you're able to kind of reach your hand in and turn the door handle, and the door creaks open, and you see him, and you hear him call out, "I have no reason to listen to this nonsense," and the shutter on the door, on the window at the top, kind of closes. It seems pretty makeshift. He has to reach out and pull this little kind of wrought iron thing back in, and then he opens it back up, and calls out one more thing. "You'll never get up here anyway, so it doesn't matter." And
we'll just see about that. Won't. I reach in and I'll open the door.
All right. You do so as the door kind of creaks open. It reveals the inside of the tower. The inner chamber, it's maybe a diameter of about 40 feet or so, and you can see spiraling around the inside is a staircase that leads up and around, or at least that appears what the intention of the design was, but you can see crumbles and chunks of stairs that have been left on the ground and on the floor around the staircase, where they have been presumably destroyed, and in place of it, you can see at the bottom of the stairwells, there's just kind of these big mattresses, and so you don't actually see any real obvious way of getting up to the top of the stairs. Like, it looks like Sir Coil took out the stairs, probably because it doesn't need them.
Before we continue on, Elysia will cast Shield of Faith on herself in a bit more of a, shall we say, improved version.
Oh, okay. You don your mage armor as you watch Elysia's body kind of glow with this sort of magical sheen. protecting her from what else would you like to do?
I'll take another sip of ale.
Excellent. You pound back a little bit of ale, and in the room that you're in, you can definitely need it, because this seems like it was kind of this seems like it was where Trash King spent a lot of his time, and there's a lot of lingering kind of scent. You can see there's like an old kind of rusty couch that's on the, or I'm sorry, rusty was the wrong word, old tattered couch that's on the far side of the room. You can see kind of like flies and stuff swarming around it. There's an imprint that is probably Trash King's in particularly favorite spot on it.
Well, time to find a way to go up.
The stairs.
The first kind of gap from where the stairs are taken out. Like I said, there's a mattress on the bottom, like underneath where the drop off is, but it's about 20 feet up.
So wait, so there's a pit. So there's a pit in front of the stairs.
There's a mat. The stairs kind of would naturally coil up around the outside of the tower to the upstairs, but part of the stairs have been destroyed, so there's just flat floor, and then the stairs start about 20 feet up the outside wall. At the bottom of it, there's a mattress to like jump down onto.
Roughly, how much of a gap is this?
The vertical gap?
Right. Yes.
It's about 20 feet to get up to the point where the stairs...
No, just talking about between the stairs where it's broken. About how far is the distance from the top and the bottom of the actual gap in the stairs?
That's what I'm saying. Like pretty much the whole chunk of stairs has been taken out. So it's just floor, and then 20 feet up is where the first stair is.
Well, I will go ahead and prepare my hand axe and tie my silk rope around it and try to fling it up there and hook it on something so I can climb.
I have an idea.
There's a lot of kind of like cracks in the rock and stone in various places. It's not going to be easy to do. It's going to be a pretty precise shot, but yeah, why don't you go ahead and make me an attack roll using your hand axe. Oh my god, nice. So you watch as you watch as I haven't learned everyone's name yet. I'm sorry. Lotho. You watch as Lotho kind of ties the rope around the end of the hand axe, kind of swings it around a few times, and with this sort of makeshift grappling hook, tosses it up to the stairwell above, and you see the hand axe kind of drag across the ground, but then all of a sudden it catches and locks into a small wedge in the top of the stairs. As
Kobe.
A perfect shot, as he's expertly created this kind of little rope leading up for all of you.
Why, thank you, and I'm gonna be climbing this now, and I'm gonna, and then he will get on the rope, and
hand over hand, like it's not hard. I'll say it's trivial. Oh wait, why do I have two musics going right now? That's weird.
Seemed awful melodic in here.
I'm sorry if you guys were listening to music for a really long time. That was really obnoxious. All right. So the group of you begin kind of climbing upwards on this rope. It's not, like I said, overly difficult. All of you were able to do so trivially, and you kind of get over this first obstacle and are now moving up the stairs proper. It seems from this point, he didn't bother taking out a lot of the stairs because he probably didn't think it necessary. The next kind of chamber that you move into as you're moving up through different floors of this building, you can see that this is probably where the Trash King keeps his food. It is by far the worst smelling kind of section of the tower that you've been into, as there's a lot of very rotten food in this room.
how the Trash King can even digest this.
Additionally, you can hear some kind of skittering on the ground as you enter, and you see two rats kind of turn and move away from like what looks like a little bed for them in the corner. They're pretty big rats. They're probably like 3 feet long. I would say rodents of unusual size.
ROUSs?
Yeah, they are ROUSs. And they're also wearing clothing, and you see them kind of start kind of moving across the ground, and they're both just kind of hissing at you as they start kind of like stalking towards you while you're moving up this tower.
Monty! And Elysia will summon the Viper to her hand.
All right. Yeah, these two clothed rats are moving closer. They're being a little bit cautious of the group of you, but yeah, they appear to be. They're definitely somebody's pets. What would you all like to do? Who is Monty, by the way? What did you just do? I'm curious.
It's Monty Viper. It's the Viper belt.
Oh yes. You activate your Viper belt. Excellent. Given to you by.
It's had a bit of a go.
Nigel?
There was this odd fellow in armor that came in trying to have Father remove a curse off of them, and Father gifted it to me for my first adventure.
That was very kind of Lance to
Perhaps
such a powerful relic on you.
Baron Luten Plundaar could feed them one of his meat stick thingies.
You're already thinking ahead. I open my cloak, grab a handful of skin roll-ups, and throw them at the rodents.
As you do so, I'd like you to make me an animal handling check.
Oh boy.
You take the skin roll-ups and you toss them to the rodents, but what you end up doing is just chucking a big pile of meat at the head of one of the rodents, which it doesn't seem to understand that you were feeding it, and you just thought it threw something at it. And you see the two rats just all of a sudden just start and start dashing across the floor towards the four of you. I'd like y'all to roll for initiative.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Wonderful.
Oh my. Look at them. Look at them initiatives.
Oh, where's my rat? What happened to my rat? All right, we'll go by memory. All right, so
yes,
Luten, as you toss the meat at this giant rat, you kind of take this moment, and while it's confused, you actually seize the initiative, despite it kind of instigating this. What would you like to do, Baron?
With the view of them becoming quite hostile, in Goblin, back foul creatures of the Trash Kingdom, know your place amongst the true nobility. And I do this.
You pick up on this. You pick on this, Captain Drex, as the Baron speaks in Goblin. All right. How are you dividing that up? Oh,
two on the closest and one on the other.
So that looks like it's going to be 8 and 4.
Yes.
All right. So you watch as the three magic missiles all leave your hand simultaneously and crash.
And they would be green, of course.
Yes, certainly a bright green. They kind of like skitter on the ground and kind of rear back from the attack and start moving in proper. Neither of them are taken out by the magic missile. That is.
With that, I will. Yes, and I will draw my stiletto and my dirk.
Okay. Yeah, you take out these two weapons, holding them side by side. Elysia, what would you like to do?
To stay safe, she will pull out a dagger in her right hand and begin making her way towards the stair. We're just passing, just chill out, little ones. And she is going to cast Frostbite on whichever one's closer to her.
Okay. We're going to make a Constitution. Rats are not too bad at that. That is a 10, though. They still fail. So you tell them to chill out. An excellent pun as you blast this shot of ice out towards one of the rats. You see as it hits it, this rat just kind of kind of shrivels up, and you see like shards and tendrils of ice kind of rack its fur as it has been frozen in place by the strike, the same one that was damaged by Luten. That is going to bring us to next was Lotho. Lotho, what would you like to do? Oh, I'm sorry, that's my mistake. Next was actually Astraea. Astraea,
You
what
had
would
it
like
right
to
the
do?
first time, I think, but
No, Astraea has an 18 and Lotho has a 16.
So how far away are the rats from me?
They have not charged. They're only, but they were kind of getting closer as they were kind of eyeing you guys before, so they're only about 10 feet away. Only one of them has already been defeated. There's only one rat remaining.
All right, then I'm gonna step forward and try to pick one of them up and basically hold it out at arm's length
All right,
to
go ahead and
remove it.
make me an athletics check as you're trying to grapple this creature. I'm sorry, I think I cut you off as you were going to add something to that.
Oh, I think it was because I'm on push to talk. I meant to keep it out of range from its claws.
All right.
a hand if it does that, but okay.
It's going to contest you with its own acrobatics, which it just manages to beat you. You go to pick up and grab onto the rat, but it's just thrashing and wriggling out of your grasp as it kind of moves around. Do you have anything else you'd like to do on your turn? You're right up next to it now, but you weren't quite able to grapple it. Do you have any action or bonus action that you would like to take?
There's none I can.
Okay. In that case, now it is Lotho. Lotho, what would you like to do?
Perhaps is my hand axe still drawn from throwing it up?
Yeah, I'll say that you recovered it from when you had used it to grab it before.
Okay, then I'll move in and make a attack with my hand axe, and then see how that goes. And then perhaps make an unarmed attack if he's still alive.
20 absolutely hits. Roll damage on that. The hand axe kind of swipes up, cutting along the the bottom of the rat's face. You see a big chunk of fur and flesh kind of get pulled off, but the rat, while nearing defeat, is not quite down by the strike.
Then I go ahead and take my unarmed strike, my martial art unarmed strike on it.
All right, go ahead and make another attack roll.
Oh my!
That does in fact hit.
Just a little bit.
All right.
For 4 damage, which is actually exactly enough to finish it off. Yep, that's exactly enough to finish it off. As you reach up or reach down and slam into the rat with your fist after kind of picking it up a little bit with the hand axe, you drill it into the ground, getting the coup de grace on this small rat, which now falls slain to the ground. The 2 rats have been defeated.
Then I sip on some ale.
And of course, as always, a quick sip from the citrus ale for Lotho. And yeah, Captain Drex, you got your weapons at the ready, and you're getting ready to dive into the fray, right as the rat is finished off. Unfortunately,
I was disappointed. I was hoping to make a nice rat kebab with my short sword.
Well, there, Drex.
Well done, Drex. Well done. A lot of talk.
Goblin,
a lot of talk.
In Goblin, I told Drex, of course you can still do that.
But that I impale one of them with the dead corpses of the short sword, and I just fling it out the window. Whoop! Yeet!
You toss the rat out the window, and then I assume that y'all continue up the stairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. As you're moving upwards, there's kind of another kind of long chunk. You see it wraps like a full 2 times around the outside of the tower before you reach what is the Trash King's chamber. On the inside of it, you can see that, however, it's probably not the way that the Trash King had originally decorated it, because when you enter all of the floors and just kind of attached haphazardly to like the walls and the ceiling. It's all mattresses and springs and kind of like there's like what looks like a trampoline that's been just kind of attached somewhere. And you see kind of standing in armor befitting a knight of the Trash Kingdom. You see it's cobbled together from cans that have been taken apart in places. You can see he carries a shield at his back that looks like the lid of a trash can, and he looks up to you. His weapon in his hand is very peculiar. It looks almost like he's holding sort of a crossbow, but it has like a boxing glove on the end of it. And he looks up to the group of you. How did you get up here? You didn't have springs on your feet. How did you jump?
It's over now. Give up.
Absolutely. And may the green sun protect us all. And as I do that, I will this, which is a once per day.
Okay. As he sees you begin to cast that spell, he's going to initiate since he sees you going right in. So I'd like you all to actually roll a fresh initiative for me.
Who all is affected by Bless?
I will give it to
that's a D20 plus. That's a D20.
Elysia,
17.
Astraea, and Lotho.
Of course he leave me out of the bliss.
What does Bliss do?
It's only 3, unfortunately.
Who are you giving the bless to at this time?
Elysia, Astraea, and Lotho.
Okay. What it does is when you make an attack roll, or I believe a saving throw, you can add a D4 to it.
Okay.
Pretty.
So wait a minute. 3 of us have 14. What is this?
This is interesting.
Yes, actually, so at this time, the first to act will be your foe. As you begin casting this bless spell, you see him kind of take this crossbow like object, and he is going to levy it at you, Baron Luten Plundaar, and he's going to make an attack roll against you. As he does so, you can hear him kind of say, "Fine, if this is how it's going to be," and he points it at you, and he kind of pulls what looks like a trigger on it, and you see the boxing glove start stretching out from it on like a huge spring as he's going to make his attack against you.
Does not hit. No.
Like extendable boxing gloves?
I look at him,
yeah.
I point my finger, and I say, "You're going to have to do better than that."
As it bounces off of you, as it hits you, you knock it to the side, and you see the spring kind of turns, and it almost like at a perfect angle, you see it stretch out and bounce over towards. At this point, it would bounce towards Elysia. Does an 18 hit you, Elysia?
It does.
For 5 points of bludgeoning damage. And you see him also, his shoes, the kind of scrap shoes that he's wearing, you see out of the bottom of them, 2 kind of springs kind of stretch out from the bottom of the shoes, and he's now building up some momentum, and he's just kind of like bouncing up and down really high. It looks like he's going to be pretty hard to like track. Pretty hard to track in this room, as he's using like momentum to like kind of throw himself off of all the different stuff that's within this room. That is going to be all for his first turn. Next, it's going to be. Next is going to be Astraea. What would you like to do? He's kind of moving around. He looks like he's going to be tough to get. He's also wearing this heavy armor. How would you like to proceed? Astraea, you with me?
Astraea, your turn!
Yeah. I'm going to pull out my war pick and my shield. And I'm basically going to Naruto run at him and swing the war pick into his face.
All right, excellent. I would like you to make me an attack roll, but because of this kind of thing that he's doing where he's moving around, you have disadvantage on the attack while he's moving like this. So go ahead and make me an attack roll.
Roll the D4 from the blessing.
With disadvantage?
With disadvantage, yes. The D4 within the blessing will still apply afterwards. And on deck is you, Captain Drex.
Hold on, does this bless only apply once?
Only once.
No, it applies. No, it applies as long as you
But
keep
yeah.
the spell up, Baron. So go ahead and roll your bless.
Six rounds.
16. The war pick kind of swings and crashes across the room, but he's moving a little bit too quickly, and a 16 actually unfortunately misses as it just ducks under his legs by a little bit. Is there anything else on your turn, Astraea?
I don't believe so.
Okay. That is going to bring us to you, Captain Drex. What would you like to do?
So if I attack him, I'm going to be at a disadvantage at the moment?
At the moment, yes, unless you can figure out some way to kind of halt this erratic movement as he bounces across the room. At this point, he's just kind of laughing a lot.
I'm gonna try to stop his movements with a nice arrow to the butt.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll. It'll still be with disadvantage.
My D4. I'm gonna roll my D4 afterward.
I don't know if you were under the bless spell.
All right, I'm not under the blessing. Crap. Yeah. Wish me luck. Damn it!
Unfortunately, a 9 doesn't cut it. The arrow, you see it crash into the walls, embedding itself in one of the soft mattresses that lines it. That's going to, I think, bring us now to... that's going to bring us to Elysia. What would you like to do?
Elysia's kind of hurting after this encounter, so she is going to backpedal her 30 feet of movement, or as far as she can go while still having eyes on Sir Coil. You really should just apologize to... you really should just apologize to the Trash King, you know. And she will guiding bolt him.
All right.
And okay.
11 does not. The guiding bolt is he's just all over the place in this room.
17.
Oh, it's 17.
Favored by the gods.
Yup.
Oh,
Nice.
Man, 17 just hits. Go ahead, you match. Go ahead and roll damage.
So many nice smiles on me today. Excellent.
Ooh. You see he's now highlighted in this glowing glow as this bolt of radiant energy from powered by Selune through Elysia's hand crashes out into this individual. As it does, you see a lot of the armor that he's wearing, this kind of cobbled together thing, breaks and kind of shatters away. And he's also, like I said, glowing, aiding whoever is the next to strike, which I believe would in this case be a nice hit. Is there anything else on your turn, Elysia?
That will do it.
Nice, favored by the gods. That is in that case going to be you, Lotho. What would you like to do?
Are we still at disadvantage for this? Is he still bouncing around?
No, because he used Guiding Bolt, which would give you advantage. He's still bouncing around, but they cancel each other out. So you're just attacking regular. Also, a lot of his armor looks like it was knocked away. So you're just a straight-up attack roll.
Okay. Well, then I will run up with my Ono hand axe. I'm going to take a swipe at his legs to try to continue to take away his advantage. Plus, that's all I can reach because I'm a halfling. So I'm going to swipe at his legs and see what happens.
16 hits. You pull the hand axe out and kind of swipe it across the legs. You see right as he's landing, you kind of time it along with the guiding bolt. You see a lot of like that armor that was on his legs is now kind of washed away, and an attack would have otherwise been deflected. You see it cuts across. Roll damage. 9 slashing damage. As you do so, 2 big gashes kind of appear about the shins as you hit both legs. Unarmed strike as well, I assume?
You know it.
This one will be at disadvantage, but 9 misses anyway. The unarmed strike comes up as he's kind of on the back jump upwards, and you catch. Yeah, I didn't expect you guys to take out his armor so quickly. That would take you longer to hit. That's going to, I think, bring us to the top.
Do I get
I haven't gone yet.
Do I get to move back? Like, does he get to move on that?
Yeah, you can take a duck backwards. He's not able to make an opportunity attack against you. He has a pretty good command of this room, but not a lot of seems his control over his movement is somewhat limited.
Okay, yeah, I'll move back about 20 feet or so.
Okay. All right, you step back and kind of grab a more defensive posture within the room. My apologies, Baron Luten Plundaar. The turn is now yours.
It is the responsibility of those under those above them to see that they are fulfilling their destiny. And as I do that, I cast this.
Yeah, unfortunately, the inflict wounds as it flies out towards him. It just kind of you just watch kind of a trampoline on the far wall just shrivel up and dry out. Oh wait, no, this is a touch range spell. Never mind.
Never mind. It is touch.
The spell whiffs. Yeah. So
no way you're gonna touch him while bouncing around.
I forgot that is touch. Yeah.
Well, you could hit him because he has to come down, so you can hit him. It just the spell misses, unfortunately.
Too fast.
I think. Too quick. I think that is now going to bring us to the top initiative, unless you have bonus action.
I'm good.
All right. In that case, Sir Coil, he's going to take out his kind of boxing glove gun and fire it once more. He's still kind of bouncing and kind of jumping all over the room. He's going to take a shot at you. He's going to go at you, Lotho.
This guy right here.
7, I assume, misses.
Yeah, way misses.
And then
nice.
As you kind of dodge out of the way, it kind of curves and moves over towards you, Captain Drex. He's going to make an attack against you. 7 misses you, Captain Drex.
And that's going to miss. Nope.
And the boxing glove in this time bounces towards you, Astraea. Does 10 hit you, Astraea?
No.
All right.
Nice.
In that case, the boxing glove is going to bounce over towards you, Elysia. Does 24 hit?
Jesus.
I'm assuming it can still reach all the way
my God.
corridor, so yes, it does.
I just imagine like a lightning bolt.
Yeah, as all of you are deflecting these attacks away, the boxing glove dashes around the room and hits you, Elysia, for 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
You just hear a squeaky, fuck! And Elysia is down.
You watch as Elysia falls. That's a good swear. All right, that's going to bring us. No, that's still his turn. He has one more action he can do. You see, he throws something on the ground in your direction. He's going to send this in your direction, Astraea. I would like you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okie dokie.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely going to fail.
Oh wait, is it on disadvantage or not?
That's not disadvantage, but a 7 still fails.
Doesn't he still have the bless?
Oh yes, you still have bless.
That's a 10.
10 is still quite not enough.
Hey.
Boo.
Sorry. So he kind of pulls from his back. You see him produce a box and toss it towards you. And as it lands on the ground, you see the box, and out of it pops a jack-in-the-box, but the hat is like really pointy, and it's going to stab up into you for
Ow.
7 points of piercing damage. As the jack-in-the-box explodes and kind of finds a chink in the armor. It's a lot of force behind it as it hits. And that is going to be his turn, which brings us back to you, Astraea, having taken this blow. It is now your turn. He's still bouncing around, but also you see his armor has kind of been shredded and stripped away. So he's easier to hit, if not still a little bit difficult because of the movement. What do you do?
I am going to grit my teeth through the pain and use this.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a d10 for your second wind. You steel yourself as you're kind of moving.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Ooh,
Yeah, you
math.
steel yourself. This attack meant nothing to Astraea as you just bite your lip and you barely even show signs of
Spike
damage to
taking
your
a
allies.
spike to the ass. You still amaze
Despite
me.
taking a big spike to the butt. And you still have an action. What would you like to do?
Yes, I'm going to swing the war pick to try and catch it underneath his jaw and to knock him silly
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
with
Still with
disadvantage.
but the AC is lower. Yep. A 19 absolutely hits for
Nice.
oh my god, for 13 points of piercing damage. Man, that's a lot. Are duelist fighting style?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's how it is.
Nice.
The war pick slams into Sir Coil. As it cuts in, you see it leaves a huge gash about his side where the armor has been picked away. He is very near to defeat. That is going to, I think, bring us to Elysia. I need you to make me a death save. Oh no, I'm sorry,
Do I
it's Captain
get
Drex
plus?
first.
What save do I have to make?
No, it's Captain Drex. It's just your turn. What would you like to do? He's bouncing about. He's looking pretty close to being downed.
I'm gonna pull up my two short swords and I'm gonna stabby this boy.
All right, go ahead and make me 2 attack rolls.
Right. I should mention I have 2 short swords, so I'm gonna make 2 attacks.
Yep. Go for it. 16 hits.
That does not hit.
And 8 misses. But go ahead and roll damage on the first one. 4 points. Another clean cut. You guys are starting to get the rhythm of the bouncing, plus he's not as well defended. That is actually not quite enough. He's just barely hanging on. Now, Elysia, make a death saving throw. I don't know if bless works for that. I don't think it does, but add it anyway.
Oh, that's cool
yeah,
if I do.
Oh yeah, that's great that we have that.
All right, in that case, it's going to now be you, Lotho. Your attack. What would you like to do?
Sorry, I forgot to push. The Jack in the Box, is it a one-time attack thing, or is it still a threat?
You are. It seems to have kind of played. He threw it out. It seems to have kind of played it.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and come rolling in again for another attack with my hand axe.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Disadvantage.
Yep, disadvantage, but 15 still hits. Would you care to describe your killing blow, as your minimum damage does do it? Although roll damage anyway, just for fun.
Oh, killing blow. Very nice. So
how do you do it? How do you kill him?
So I come running in, and I take another swipe at his knees. And as I hit him, I see a gash open, throws his leg back, and he falls onto the ground. And then can I take an unarmed strike, just because?
Yeah, absolutely.
So as he falls, I hit him with an unarmed strike. I come down, I grab a hold of his throat, and smash into it. And then what I do is I actually go into his throat, up through,
Holy shit.
and I rip his eyeballs out.
Jesus Christ!
No!
And then I hold him up, and then I just go, and those are his eyeballs right there.
Jeez!
Whoa!
Overkill!
I did not expect that kind
Overkill!
of imagery out of Lotho. So you kind of across
Fatality!
the hand axe and just tear into his throat and rip out his eyes. What? As he is left absolutely nothing left of him on the mattress ground as you guys have defeated Sir Coil.
And I pour out some citrus ale for him.
I'm gonna pour that sack of trash, and I'm gonna pour it in the corner.
And almost immediately, you see the Trash King kind of pop his head out of it. Sir Coil is dead!
Would you happen to have like a pike or something?
A pike?
Yeah, long, sharp, pointy stick.
Oh, we have lots of those. Yes, long, sharp things.
Will you get one of those right quick?
He kind of thinks about it. No, a king can't take orders, but I'll tell you where they are, and you get a pike.
Okay.
And he says to you, you have a pike?
Okay. I'm gonna take Sir Coil and cut his head off, put it on the pike, and put it outside of the balcony. And using thaumaturgy, I address all of those. Let this be a lesson to all who will not obey the lawful order of things here in this land. Remember this day.
You see the Trash King kind of watching you do this, and he's kind of like nodding. And he says, I will remember this tactic. That is very smart.
Smart and very terrifying. I will say that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Sir Coils is just trash now. And also, I believe I owe you all a sum of money. And he hands each of you 100 Bartholomew bucks as payment for your services. You see him; he kind of leaves. All right, I can't wait to see my pet rats again. I missed them while I was away from my tower. And you see him walk off.
Oh yes, don't forget possible trade routes, Trash King. We can talk about that later.
Yes, indeed.
Brad's about getting some.
I'm just gonna like nervously rub the back of my head because I just.
If anyone got Elysia up, she will go over to the severed head and clean it up with Presto and make it smell pretty. So he will die clean, the ultimate atrocity for these foul people.
Oh, nice.
You do so. Eventually, I assume someone will get.
In the meantime, I'm going to that wrecked ship. I'm taking that mermaid.
And that is where this adventure ends, everyone. Thank you.
All right.
For playing. All of you gain 1 point of experience.
All right.
Which puts everyone to level 2, except for Baron Luten, who already was level 2.
Yes.
And that's all. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for running.
Of course. Jeremy, are you here?
Pete, I'm always here.
I counted upon it.